So I call this meeting of the Douglas Historical Commission to order on Wednesday, May 29th, 2024 at 6:35 PM. Meeting is taking place at the Resource Room in the Douglas Municipal Center. Present at today's meeting are Rebecca Doyen-LaValle,
Dawn Fontaine.
Sarah Guyman.
Christy Chargent.
Scott Garland.
Okay.
All right, so Dawn's provided us with the agenda for today's meeting. Any objections, amendments?
I didn't print anything out. I emailed it to everybody after the last meeting, so.
I move that we accept the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Okay.
Also, we received the meeting minutes from the May 14th meeting. Everyone hopefully had a chance to review everything. Any problems or anything?
I think that's the one we just did. The May 14th is the meeting, the minutes we approved. And then the day after, the BFCC, what's BFCC stand for? Building
Building Facilities Construction Commission.
So Sarah and I went to that meeting, so I just wanted to update everybody on that, which is just a quick update, which is the printout that I emailed to everybody back on that day. So basically, their BFCC will keep us in the loop for whatever properties that they're gonna, make a vote on. So the old grammar school at 11 Gleason Court, the old fire station at 5 Cottage Street, and the Douglas Center School at 21 Main Street are still, potentially at risk. So they're, going to try to, well, they will look at what the cost is to do a construction analysis. I'm not using the right term there,
Yeah.
but look at what it would cost to shore up the fire station tower versus take it down, based on the history that we gave them there. And the old grammar school, still going to try to see if we can find a buyer for short money to develop that. And the center school is a little bit up in flux about what we can do, but it is part of the National Register, as we talked about, so that gives it a little bit of
Protection?
protection. So I don't know if there was any questions about what I sent, or...
No, that's good. I don't think we have to have a vote.
No, I don't think we need
Just
a...
correspondence.
Correct.
It's
I don't-
just a report.
Right, there's no vote on that one unless we
Yeah,
want to
no,
do
it looks
anything
good.
official.
Thank you for knowing that. How long was the meeting?
We were the last ones in the meeting,
Yeah.
so by the time we get to the end, they wanted to keep it quick because they were all running out of time.
Yeah.
So basically an hour and 15, something like
Okay.
that. Oh, and just as a aside, gosh, I can't think today. The meeting with the joint groups for the,
Community Preservation Act?
Community Preservation Act is tomorrow, as far as I
Tomorrow night.
know. I haven't heard otherwise. I cannot make it now.
Oh, okay.
I
I
don't-
believe it is still on for tomorrow night. I can't remember what time the start is.
I have
but
it written at 7.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
are you?
7, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah and Christy are still going. Okay,
I'll still
terrific.
plan to go.
Okay, terrific. All right. All right, so that was it. So now we can do our walkthrough.
So,
And do you want me to go by, well, you go in order how the geography is, and we can just find it on our list.
so one of the things is, I don't know where everybody in town is, but this building here just got painted, and it looks
Oh.
phenomenal.
Excellent.
The top is now black, and this part is a nice bright blue. That was already on our list to be pictures taken.
What number was that? Do you know?
229. It was, wait, what one was that? Was that 229?
I think that might have been,
Marsh Schuster Mansion?
no, that would have been,
Oh, I see the numbers on the top corner now. 238?
yep.
Okay.
I'll have to go by and take a look. I haven't seen it.
I
So
know
did
how I've
Did they
missed that,
redo the mansard roof too?
Huh?
Did they redo the roof too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything looks really, really sharp there, so,
Nice.
I think we had that one on the list anyway because it was a unique-looking building, but definitely one we want to keep on there. Something else I was thinking of when I was driving through town, even if a house is on our list, I think we should be careful not to pick any houses with political signs or anything like that. I think we want to keep houses that are just,
The house.
yes, I don't want anything to be considered controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
Either way.
I don't think we've picked any at this point that are, but there are some in town, and I'd
Yeah, we'll
rather,
be doing it before November.
Right.
I'd rather we not put ourselves into that type of position.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. So the ones that are highlighted here, Becky, these are the ones we already looked at. And
Yep.
Did we decide yes on all of these?
The ones that were highlighted, we decided yes on.
Okay, so I'll
No.
just check them.
Yep. Now, this one here, 271, the chiropractor, I actually drove by it today. I don't know if they're in the process of getting ready to repaint it or not, but there's a lot of scraping and stuff that's been done. So this is one of the reasons why I said we should overpick than underpick,
Yeah.
because
Call it out.
when it comes time to take the picture, we might look at it and be like, oh, they're in the middle of construction, or something's going on where we might not want to go with that picture anymore. And like I said, this is one that might fall into that. That was just something I saw when I drove by today.
What number was the one that just got painted?
238.
Because that one's not, maybe,
Yeah, I
that one's
didn't-
not highlighted on here.
Because we hadn't gotten to it last
Oh,
week.
okay.
No,
But you
no,
see it right at the end
we
of the
had
page.
gotten to it.
We went
Oh.
past it.
Yeah, so some things, hold on one sec. I need to,
I'm checking, I can make this like the official list if you want and just check off the ones.
yeah, I
we
need
decided on.
to have double screens up here because I also need to have this one up. That one should have been checked off and it wasn't.
Okay.
So 238 should have been checked off. I know when we were talking, we made comment that it seemed like we'd picked a lot of houses in the beginning. Something I think we need to keep in mind is I believe at that point in time, that was an affluent part of town. So you did have a lot of the nicer houses there, which is why you're seeing like
So many right there.
so many that were like, oh, we're picking this one. Oh,
Yeah.
we're picking this one, because you're looking at the nicer houses in town.
It's like we need to pave, doesn't it? You're looking at the road.
Right.
Okay.
Got a lot of crack seal going on.
The building committee coming here, highway department, whatever.
Why?
Don't tell them.
Google Maps is being very annoying right now, and it's not giving me the, there we go. Okay. Okay. So then across the street, we had Shirley Cooney's, which was this house right here.
Okay.
That was the Alexander Scudder house, I believe.
Okay, at 262.
Yep. Then if we,
Go, do you want to go and,
do we want to go down Mechanic Street?
well, whatever's like is quicker for you?
We can go down Mechanic. Okay, so this is still on Main Street, the Deacon Warren Hunt House.
Okay. What do we all think of this?
So that one's actually got,
Where I work.
that
Oh,
one-
yeah.
that one's actually had some,
One
re-
of my jobs.
that's had some,
nice.
that's actually had some really cool pictures over the years. I remember recently it's been hit by lightning.
Yep, I remember that.
It's a hunt house. It's a, I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty historic inside.
yeah. So, I mean,
And
honestly,
it's a brick, which makes it a little different than
Yep.
some of the others.
Yeah, so we should probably include that one.
Are
and
we-
something.
Are we still paring down after?
I think
Yeah.
I think we overshoot and then we
Yeah.
pare down.
Okay,
So,
sure.
one thing you should mention from our, I don't know if everybody was on that email, we were talking about the photos, because, well, like, just backtracking a bit, is like, we had all these B forms, which were the photograph, the map, the description, a lot about the building materials and the architect, and a narrative. And then we did all these forms, 400, 500 forms, and then didn't really end up needing them. So I think it's still, at least in my head, like, we need these forms, we need these forms. We probably need a handful, but we don't need hundreds of them.
Right.
So we can actually give more photos than we thought at the last meeting.
Oh.
Like, there's no magic number. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, we just want to tell a story. So I think we're probably going to take photos of the entire district anyway. So we can, there's no reason, like, the Lexington example used a lot of photos. So we shouldn't, like, limit ourselves too much, but we can still, it's digital age, we can just drop them, you know,
Right,
later.
yeah.
Like, try to be reasonable, but then drop them if needed. But that is a different kind of building, I think. So-
And also something, it's got the additions. You can see
Yeah.
it's had a lot of additions added to it, which I think is also a very interesting aspect to that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Christy, do you know, is that 274? You're working there?
Yeah, at the spa.
Yeah, okay.
Then you've got Jackman's.
Which is beautiful.
And
The only one.
okay,
that
so we're
style.
on Mechanic Street,
Oh,
not,
thanks.
now we're on Mechanic
Yeah.
Street. That is page 9. Okay.
All right, so we kind of went by Unibank. I don't think anybody's going to fight for that one.
I like the purple, no, I'm just kidding.
And so Jackman is actually the Luther Stone
Number
House.
7, the
Yep.
Italian meat.
And that one has interesting history. It's been a couple of different,
Types of businesses?
no, funeral homes. It was the Dunleavy, and I believe it was one other at another point in time. This is the original building, then you've got this addition, and then you've got the addition also off the back that I believe Jerry's family has done.
Okay. All right, so keep that.
Then this house is gone.
Right.
Yeah, it just kind of disappeared, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was the Royal Keith House, I believe.
Was that number 8?
It
Well, that's fine.
it was 7 or 8, I can't remember.
Well, he's 7.
Yeah.
Nope, 7 is,
7 is still existing, then it must
Yeah.
be
That's one we just looked at.
yeah,
Then it must,
7's
then it must have been 8.
Gone. One-
Yep.
Really, it was only 1941? Seems like a little more.
well, hold on, we
Let's
can,
see, unless it was,
let's go,
Not that it matters, it's gone.
unless 7 or 8 is still there. I do
Unless
remember its
that-
historic
this
name was
being
Royal
really
Keith House, but I don't remember
nope,
the
nope,
address.
hold on, guys. One sec. Okay, so here's the Unibank lot. Then right here was 6 Mechanic
Oh,
Street.
6,
It's the
okay.
lot that is gone now.
Okay.
And that lot has been bought by Unibank. So
Right.
they've actually got that one now. Then you've got 8 Mechanic, which is the one that we just looked
40s.
at, which is 41, which is right here. Honestly, to me, it's nothing special.
Right. I was just thinking, like, we should ask ourselves, like, a few questions, like, does it have historic value?
Why
You
is it
know, like,
compliant?
2,
It says
does it?
1941.
Huh?
Why does it say compliant if it's 1941? Same with the next one.
No, that doesn't mean complying. That means-
Contributing?
Contributing.
Like,
Because it's older than, it falls within our,
1970?
yeah.
Yeah, the 50s.
Oh,
it falls within
That
our.
threw me too, because I kept thinking it
Right.
should be like 30s, and then I was like, did we say 70? And then we did, so. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, even if it wasn't, it was 45 it was
Right.
45 to, it was 46 to 70 was the next
it
version.
doesn't
Yeah.
look anything like 1941.
Right.
So I would say no.
Right. And so.
It's got a nice wall.
I guess like even if it tells a story, like if we've got a few houses that are like in a neighborhood, maybe one or two of those are taken, but that's like a standalone, so,
Same thing with the next one.
yeah, the next one we can skip.
Typical.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, if you were to ask me between the two of them, that house shows more of a story
Yeah, the 40s one.
than the house next.
I think if I remember correctly, it was a doctor's house at some point. I
I'm-
remember reading that somewhere, but.
I'm just saying, like, if you were to look at the two of them, to me, that
Yeah.
one tells more of a story out of the two of them. Then you've got the two duplexes that are in the back.
Yeah, just skip that, right?
Yeah, so.
You don't need to drive down that road.
No,
These two.
They're very.
They're like not, it's not like it's like two duplexes.
What year?
Yeah, they're
Not like a
84 and
story.
91, so they're not even.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, okay.
Okay, so,
So that's all of Mechanic.
Yep.
yep.
Oh, because that
How
road
about-
turns.
Yep, we now turn into Manchog Street.
Okay, so.
I was about to say, how about Soldiers Field?
I mean, that's a,
Yeah.
that is a
Right.
given. I will fight to the death to keep Soldiers Field
Right.
on there, just in
Yeah.
case anybody's wondering.
Me too. I agree, that one should be there. I mean, there's like certain things that like, when I think about when I think about Douglas and what's historic, like, there's certain things that like automatically come to mind, like, the old fire station, the library.
Yeah.
The
Jenk
the-
store.
The Jenk store, where the post office is now, the original town hall, or that town hall, wasn't the original, but, yeah, like, certain things that jump out, and Soldiers Field is definitely among the things that
Right.
jump out.
Right.
Okay, so then this is 1964, so that wouldn't fall really within our purview anyway. This one, I mean,
That one's been really remodeled.
yep, and even so, it was 77, so it was non-contributing.
Oh, okay.
I like when these photos were taken, so
The time of year was like
Yeah.
perfect.
I want to go back to that.
Okay,
In a few short months, we will.
7 is 65, so that doesn't fall within. Then this one here is,
I thought it did, because we're going down to
well,
70s, but
it's one of.
it's kind of your typical ranch.
Yeah, and I think that's why we were kind of like, even though it does, it doesn't.
Sure.
Okay. This is saying it's 16 Manchog. Did I miss 10, or is it one of those?
10 doesn't have any notes on it. Oh, I see it in the corner there, it says 16.
Okay, it's just the way they're done, it's screwy. So this is 10, and then up here is A Street, and
Is that,
then
that's not 10 in the picture, right? No.
18. Do we not have a 16 Manchog? Or is it,
It looks like it goes from 13 to 15 on this,
yeah.
on the list. So maybe we don't? Maybe they,
Yeah, it's just the way it's the way Google
mean-
Maps has it. So this is 10 Manchog, like I said, wasn't on the list. But once you go over here and we go up, I just want to make sure I'm pointing to the right. That's 7.
Oh, A Street goes both ways, right?
yeah, yep.
Okay, so this one here, okay, it's going to be screwy when we,
Look at that lot. That's-
yeah, that's why I'm saying it's going to be screwy when we get up to it.
I can't even tell which one that is. I might need glasses. Can you make that picture any bigger?
I'm trying to actually get back to the.
Oh, okay.
street view. There we go. Okay, so here we go. It's this one here.
That white one?
Yep.
That's an address,
That's
that's
9 A Street. Yeah, that's definitely 9 A Street, that white one. 'cause
Okay,
I
so
walk that
that-
neighborhood all the time.
That's the owner of the spa.
Then,
Oh, no kidding, really? Oh, wow.
okay,
That's
here.
my boss's house.
Okay, then this, it's
definitely
this
A
one here.
Yeah, it is definitely, because I live up on the.
Here it
corner,
is.
So
This one here.
I walk that neighborhood all the time. I'm like, no, that's number 9.
Wait.
Yeah, really, wow. You know, it's so funny, like, I never even think.
Knew that was there?
Yeah, right, I never think about it, because
So
it's
that's
just
number
kind of
11?
That's number 11, 1858.
good to know.
See, that one again,
That
to me is
looks
an
like-
outlier, like it,
And it looks like it's had a lot
Of work done?
of work
yeah.
done on it. So that's where it gets screwy. It becomes a question of, has it had too much work done on it? But it's still a very, almost like your house, Sarah.
Yeah.
It's unique, weird, because
Right.
it looks like it's a bunch of different,
Yeah,
yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, so do you want to include that one? Which is 11?
I like to see the other side of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Don't know if I can.
Well, you know what, it's easy to put it on the list. Let's keep it on the list.
Right? Yeah, I'll have to like walk up the driveway. maybe.
And then we can take it off, you know? There's no law that says we have to put it in at the end, the very
Which
end.
number was
11,
that?
I think.
11, okay.
I would like this
Now,
one.
do we have like, you know what I wish? I wish we like also had like you know, the little notes that used to be in the building report. I think they probably came from Marsh, but like some of them told like stories.
I'm
like-
actually kind of trying to look at Marsh right now as we're talking.
Because some of them mentioned like the history with like the residents like who lived there. Like I just remember there was one place where there was like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, an
That's actually what I'm
explosion
trying-
and
That's
like,
actually what I'm
you know.
trying to look at right now, so bear
Or
with me.
certain houses that had been like a chicken coop or like a butcher
Right.
place or like,
Yeah,
you know,
there's
like
one
just
near your house
interesting.
that's like that.
Yeah, where the two houses are really close together, and I guess like one of them was I can't remember, like a butcher shop or something.
Yeah.
And there's another one, I think, like somewhere, maybe on Wickstead, that was like a chicken coop.
The
and
weirdest thing happened today is this 88-year-old woman and her daughter came to the door and they're like, she lived here. when she was
Really? Oh, wow.
Before she got married in the 50s.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they
Wow.
looked through and they were so excited.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
really appreciate it. Some of it looks so much the same.
Oh,
some of it
wow.
I can't tell you.
Oh, wow, that's neat.
But it's kind of funny.
She didn't like pull out a brick and find
Yeah.
her hidden treasure that she
I
lives in?
know.
Yeah.
Pull the stairs up,
Yeah.
She was very
bring a
spry.
hammer with it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, nothing
That's awesome.
there. Let's do one more real quick.
I was trying to remember if that one was the one with the gas explosion. That was like long ago in the history.
That was a weird story.
Yeah.
This was part of,
Okay, this was, so Douglas,
Well, it looks like, is that
Address?
It looks like Salem.
11, and Chalk, right? Did I spell that right?
Yep.
The number of times I have spelled Manchog wrong when doing these things. Okay, so,
Just remote frame.
Which has been altered in a haphazard manner.
Yeah.
one
There
word
you
for
go. Oh,
Doesn't
okay,
really have
that
a
wasn't
story.
the one with the story. Yeah, there was one, I don't remember what street it was on though. I remember it was blue, but I can't really remember which one.
okay, but it does, I mean, the fact that it was part of the Woolen Company, so it had like the different owners, that kind of stuff. There is that haphazard of it.
Is that the other side of the house in the picture there?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
All right, well, I left it as a
maybe.
Well, I left it as a yes, because I don't have a maybe, but.
Yeah.
We can,
It still has the original chimney.
but I think what could happen at the end is like, we've got all the photos here, and like, this is your group, and then you'd be
Yeah.
like, what were we thinking with that one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess the story that it tells is if it was part of the original Mill
Right.
family,
Right.
then it's, through its life, it served that purpose, and it's still a
Right.
multifamily, so it's kind
Right.
of cool.
There's a
that way.
lot that have that same history, though, where, you know, I think Hayward probably owned most of my neighborhood at some point. You know, it's like
not
my
just-
house, the
just
house
not your
next to
neighborhood.
me, the
He-
one across the street, and probably most of East Douglas.
Yeah, he
Right.
bought up houses left and right.
Man of Douglas?
Right.
No, he bought houses up left and right, and then he would sell them off to different employees. And I believe he would sell them where he would then kind of hold the loan on them, and
Yeah.
he acted as the bank.
Right.
Oh, wow. It's really making.
Okay, so then we've got this house here.
Which looks like, you know.
So that was 13?
This one, nope, that was 11. This
Okay.
one here is 13.
Valentine Aldrich House. I like that name.
Yeah, right. That's a neat name. You don't hear Valentine too often.
No.
Is it a duplex then?
It's not listed as a duplex, it's just a number, but isn't that, oh, but now it might be, yeah, because look at, like, that door looks
Yeah.
obviously added on, so maybe to get, like, one floor, like, to get to the second floor, and then the other
it's
one's
like
on
a
top.
duplex.
Or it could be a second means of egress,
Yeah.
depending on what they have around the back.
Well, it could be
Yeah.
the second week of egress for the upstairs.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. So I would vote to put that one in, at least for now.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay, 13.
Okay.
Plus the name Valentine is very,
Right, right, just,
that deserves.
Okay, so obviously Carter Square will go in.
And that is what, 50?
oh, you
No.
added those, thank you.
Yeah, I don't, I thought it was supposed to be on here, but I'm not seeing it. I know that.
Okay. Carter
That's the
Square, never heard of
World
it.
War
Is it this
It's
one?
the World War One.
Is this one Carter Square?
Yep,
Okay, I thought it was, I just
it
wanted.
is. Yep.
Okay. Then 15 is Christina's house. Christina
Yeah,
Menard.
that's a nice house.
That one's a definite yes.
That's 15, okay.
Okay. Then,
The one next door looks pretty similar. Oh, not blue. Is that blue?
yeah.
That one's nice, too.
Is that 19?
Yeah.
Benjamin Wallace. Street Revive.
Yeah. I think we should keep that one for the moment, anyway. How do we switch roads?
No, we still have a little bit to go on
Yeah.
here. This, did I miss 18, or is this one 18?
Yeah, 18 is.
I was going to say born in 1957.
Okay, so 18 is that one, so we're skipping that one, so. Okay, we've
20
got,
would be next.
yep, so that's 20 right here.
Okay.
That's a very interesting looking house.
What? It looks like it's placed sideways.
It is.
Okay.
1880.
So that's west facing.
Say again?
So
I think it's
if,
facing the west.
so that's,
Oh.
that's,
Oh, so so it, okay. It was this way, but it's been changed.
and the trees don't give me a good,
Yeah, so it used to be this way. This was the front of the house.
this one right here?
There probably was a window there. Well, no, that's the newer garage. This house here, obviously, a second floor expansion. It was literally like a little colonial. What they called almost may have started as a Greek revival. It's been changed a lot. That whole side over there would have had windows.
Right, it looks
This would've
odd.
been-
It looks
this
like
would've
there's
been the way
missing,
that it
a
was.
missing window, or there's missing something
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I would say that if you had to call one out, you might want to call it. It's just so modifications.
Yeah, I agree.
You want me to look on that, Becky?
Huh?
Do you want me to
No.
look that? Okay.
So what are we thinking on this
You can
one?
pass on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine
We'll
with
skip
that.
that one.
Because
So-
we can't sit here and figure out what it is.
So this house,
22?
I feel
It
like,
looks like a boarding house, doesn't it?
Let's see, 22,
Albert Dance
Albert
Road.
Dancer Road. I think it's kind of cool.
built by A.F. Jones in 1875. And that's all that's really said about it.
I mean, it's nondescript, but it's one that we can call out later.
Yeah.
It's still there, it's, it's in its original spot.
It's, yeah, and it's more together.
It's,
Okay, that's fine, we can keep that. And the other ones here are all St. Dennis.
okay, so the rectory has been 3 different buildings. It was originally where the church was, then it was a rectory that got burned down, and I believe it was another rectory that got burned down, and now it's this rectory.
It's quite the impressive building from
is.
this view, you know?
1982, the last time it got burned down was in
Oh, wow.
81.
Wow.
So it's new.
They actually made it look,
Yeah.
they made it look an older style, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Which is very interesting because I find St. Dennis to be a very utilitarian Catholic church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always bothered me. So I do think we do the site marker, which is where the original church was in 55, and then St. Dennis was built and opened in 1955.
Out of curiosity, when was the one that was on the original site built? Just if anyone knows.
That was around the 1850s.
Oh, okay.
I believe, I'd have to double check, but I
I was
believe it
just-
might have been a barn or
Just
something at the
curious.
time.
But I think the church should be there. It's not super historic,
I
but
definitely think it should be there.
it's like part of the community,
Yeah.
right? And like
Oh,
people
absolutely.
would have
Yeah.
gone there.
What year was that built, 55?
55.
The old
Okay.
St. Dennis Church was built in 1868, built from the
okay.
framework of a large barn belonging to Deacon Warren Hunt Estate.
Oh,
The
interesting.
original rectory was a brick house built in about 1830 and stood where the present one was. It was burned on December 9th, 1902.
Wow.
Right before
The
Christmas.
present rectory was burnt in 1903, and then once again, it was burned in
Jeez.
1980.
Wow.
They still kept it going.
Yeah.
Now it's steel.
But
Okay, so all the three St. Dennis locations.
we
we're
do want to
keeping.
include the rectory, even though it's
Yeah.
technically non-contributing.
Well, it technically is, oh wait, 82.
It's technically non-contributing, but I think being a part of the whole church as a whole, I think
it would be weird to leave it out, I think.
Okay.
Are we going to include the other churches that are like downtown?
Yeah.
Too?
I would
Yeah,
think
like the
so.
one, I know the one that like sticks out most in my, yeah, well, there's the
Those
second
two.
Congregational, and then there's like the Methodist.
The Methodist
I
Church,
think.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both
I
of
know
them are going to be
the
included.
second Congregational's lawn is like, something that
Yeah, it's like
comes
a
to my mind.
fixture.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, no,
right.
both of those are going to be included.
So, do you want to go down Caswell, Becky, since we're right there?
Caswell's not included.
We took out Caswell.
Remember, that's why we ended up getting the funky Starfighter.
Okay.
Oh, right.
That's why we have the Starfighter shape.
There was one really cool house on the end of that street, but let's forget.
But the problem was everything else was pretty
Everything
much
else, yeah.
non-contributing minus that one house.
Right, okay, that's
So
fine.
I think now our
Now we're
best
on
bet,
Gilboa.
I think we go down, yeah.
Okay.
So we flip back to
Or
Gilboa.
do A Street. because
Yeah, we could do A Street
Clean up
and
that back.
come back.
Okay, so,
Okay, that's true.
or we could go down Gilboa, no matter what, we're going to end up going crisscrossing, because 8th Street, you're going
It's
to,
like on either
Down
end, yeah.
A Street, you're coming back.
then you've got B Street, no matter what, you're going to be doing a lot of crisscrossing.
Okay, that's fine, stay on Gilboa.
Okay,
And then.
So, okay, so,
There's a lot on Gilboa, but not a lot contributing, I think, or
Okay,
that we
this-
want to take pictures of.
sorry, where am I?
I like think about walking my dogs, and I'm thinking about when I walk this street. I don't know that there's so many.
With so many buildings, I know.
Like, well, picture worthy.
Yeah, right, so we could probably go through this one fairly
So
quickly.
here's, yes and no. I think we're going to end up getting screwy on some of these. Like this one.
Number 2?
It's a cute little house.
Yeah, it is. It looks barely touched. so-
It's
I'd
an,
vote to
yeah,
that
it
one.
looks, what year is this one?
1845.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep that. Oops, I marked my page wrong.
Now, what number was that?
This one's 2.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to put in the address because until we get past the intersection.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this one
This
is screwy.
So weird, yeah.
Okay,
It's huge.
because we have Macris as having a date of circa 1856. No, sorry, March 1856. Macris 1860, and something else has 1920. We have 3 different dates.
I was at this house for the census, and it's all confused, and it's like,
Is it because of the second building in the back?
yeah, there's like another building in the back. It's like an alleyway between the two
building
buildings.
in
Yeah.
the back,
It
It's
is a-
nothing
it's
special.
Definitely nothing
Strange.
special.
It's
and-
definitely the oldest, I mean, to me, I've been in that building, and that seems like it's around 1870. But at the front is just a mixed match of a
Yeah.
hodgepodge.
I
I think
would-
this was probably the original part right here.
I
The
mean,
little bit in the front with
Yeah,
that
kind of looks
protrusion,
like-
kind of.
You know, that kind of looks like 1860s. right?
right, where the overhang is.
Okay, the long house, one half of which is owned by Jones, the other half by Carter, was built in about 1856 from the framework of an old shoe factory or tannery, which
Oh.
stood at Centerville, near where the Ernest Brule and family now live. That's where we get one date, because it's part of an old
What's Centerville?
building.
Like, not the town
That-
of Centerville?
No, Centerville is right after you go by GBI, and you go down and like kind of down and you go Ice Cream Lady area.
Yeah.
That's kind of the Centerville area.
Okay, thank you.
That's interesting.
The first owner that we find in records was Knowlton, then Jones, who were brothers. In 1900, Jones lived in the house, ran a meat business. West half of the house, Kupka lives, and they've got tenants. So it's one of those, and then in the rear of the 4-tenement house, described elsewhere, owned by Connor, is a 2-tenement house, formerly a barn, which was made over into a dwelling in 1939. So if you want a good description or a good example of a screwy house that is made up of a lot of different things,
Yeah.
this is a great example
And
of
it's
it.
funny
Yeah,
that
I
two-
do think
two
it's
people own the same
interesting.
building.
Yeah, right.
I
It is
think-
an interesting example.
And I think what's interesting is that we've actually got the history of it.
Yeah.
I
Right,
think
it was this and then it was that,
This picture
and
might
then-
be a good
yeah.
one to use, because it definitely doesn't look so wonderful now.
Right.
You can ask Dawn, I'm pretty good at photoshopping stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
I can make this look pretty.
We're gonna repaint everything. All right, that was 6?
That was 4.
Oh, 4.
And I think if I look, I might be able to find something that David had taken at a different point too, to see what I've got.
David had given us a flash drive of a bunch, so I
Oh,
do have
okay.
those saved, like, locally on my computer.
All right.
Okay.
Kinda cute.
So 3 I'm skipping because it's 77 and it's a simple ranch.
Okay.
This was the Willis Sherman House. It's a Victorian vernacular with a complex plan. I remember
Victorian.
I remember at one point they had done, I don't know if anybody else remember when they had put like, they almost made it look like a gingerbread house, like they had like,
Yeah,
Do- do-
that's, Yeah, I do remember that. It was a while ago.
It was, I think it was different owners, but they had made like
Yeah, they almost added like a trim thing.
a trim thing that made it look like a gingerbread house.
Interesting.
I don't have strong feelings either way on this one.
So you've got this one, and then right next to it, you've got this one.
What year is that?
That one's 1880, the other one is 1870.
So both Victorian era, but, I mean, we don't have a lot of Victorian.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I'm inclined to leave them out.
oh, and see, I was inclined to probably put one of them in because we don't have a lot of them.
Okay.
But there are other 18, what year? Sorry.
1870.
Yeah, there's more of that era, I think, besides those in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
picked the
sure.
white one.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, we also don't know what they look like today.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
whenever these were taken.
Right.
This was
It's like
October
some of-
2020.
Some of them are like almost copies of each other too, like along,
The
that.
one when you go to the highway that look just like each other.
Yeah, like there's like some that it's like they're almost very similar. Like mine, well, my original section looks very similar to the one on the corner of Gilboa and Cemetery, but it's kind of like mine now has the big Second Empire edition. So it's
Yeah.
like, but before
can see
then
the
they like looked very similar. Like they were like the same kind of like, where you have
Shell.
the peak and then like the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and then there's one down the other end of A Street that almost looks the same except like flipped and the porch is on the different side and it's like, but it's all like a really similar kind
Yeah,
of
so
like
probably the same
structure.
architect
Yeah,
or
right.
builder.
Yeah, and it's almost similar to like that one, so, to the white one.
Nothing really fancy about either of them in Marsh.
Okay.
Like I said, I think maybe just having one, like I said,
Okay.
whatever one looks
Well,
better at the
I
time.
just say we go with 5 since we all like that one better. Even if it's changed wildly, then
Yeah.
When the
It is what
picture
it
is
is.
taken,
Yeah.
when the picture goes to be taken, it's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna take this one instead of that one.
Yeah. So I'm still on Gilboa.
Oh, and then,
8.
yeah.
Ezra
think I-
Jones Barn.
I think I was thinking of the Ezra Jones Slaughterhouse when I was thinking of the odd
Yes, I see that there.
histories. I think that and the barn are next to each other, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, yeah, they are like right next to each other.
Okay, so yeah,
So 10 and 8,
8 and 10. Let's just confirm with this, just so I make sure I'm looking at the right. That's 8 and that's 10.
yep.
I don't think we need these.
The slaughterhouse.
I was gonna say, I kind of think
Yeah,
the
and
slaughterhouse
how
is
they're-
cool.
How they're so close together. Do we have a thing from
Let's see.
the building report on what they were? Because I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting, but I can't remember the particulars now.
Those walls could talk.
Yeah, right?
Both in 1860s, they were built
A
together.
former ablator for livestock.
I don't know what that is.
The house farthest east was originally a slaughterhouse where cattle, pigs were killed for market purposes and once belonged to Ezra Jones, later his son Walter. It was sold to the late John Hughes, a taxi driver who made it over into a dwelling house. Hughes was married more than once, and one of his sons runs the taxi business in Whitensville.
Probably not anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
just
I
for
mean-
lift.
Every town need,
I thought it was an interesting,
it's an interesting story, so it's kind of hard to ignore it. It's not the prettiest picture in the world, but
right.
the fact that one was a barn and one was a slaughterhouse,
And it was
Yeah.
like a reuse.
you still needed those places
Yeah.
for,
The house now owned by Stebbins with the imitation brick covering
yeah.
Which looks like
Which
the one
is
on the
pretty
right.
much gone. Yeah, it's, because
Was-
on the,
was a barn which
Outside,
once
there's
belonged to
still a
some
lot.
of the Jones families. It was made over into a tenement house in 36. The Stebbins bought it in 46.
So, just,
Mr. Stebbins' father, Charles, lives with them. Charles S. was a German prisoner of war in World War II for a while.
Interesting.
Just a random,
Yeah.
So just a question maybe is, so what we're taking pictures of doesn't mean, like, could we still write about this but not have a picture of it? You know what I mean?
yeah, you could.
Well, I mean,
it's-
didn't they tell us they don't want things to just be pretty? Like, we can show things
Right,
that are also
absolutely.
like in not the greatest shape.
Yeah,
or,
they
you know.
don't want everything,
Yeah.
they
And they
want,
tell a story.
yeah, they don't want everything to be perfect.
Right.
Unless you're actually a town where everything is perfect, and that's,
Which we're not.
that's not Douglas.
That's Peterborough, New Hampshire.
All right.
That's
Back in my
Lexington or
bags.
somewhere else, but not here.
Okay. Did I miss 9?
I like the smiley ghost on the door. Must have been
So
around
are
Halloween
we,
time.
are we saying yes to 8 and 10?
I think so.
I think so, because I think they're interesting. I think
Because of the
the,
history, yeah.
yeah, I think the reuse is interesting.
Yeah.
Is,
That's
Probably
9.
right.
9A and B, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
With the smiling door.
1800.
Now a condo. It's a cape.
It's definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a cave.
I'm
Yep.
underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
A little
moving
bit.
And
on.
it's a north-facing cave, which is interesting.
Okay.
Return. That looks modern.
1940.
Which one, you're on the white one?
Nope, this one.
The blue one,
The blue
1940.
one. Okay, something to keep
What
in.
number are we? Sorry.
12.
12. Okay.
Something to
Lost my
keep
place.
in mind, 1940, you are having like the rise of the Schuster Mill,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. Don't know how much that's going to play into. So even though it says 1940 here,
Yeah.
according to Marsh, it was 1946, which would have been right after the war. And I mean, it does tell a story of post-war.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a post-war example.
But it doesn't look like,
I feel like we probably have better examples.
Yeah.
there was better
Okay.
examples.
But I don't know if you're going in order, because 13 was worker housing.
Okay. I said, these are, sometimes it's just
So
easier.
is that a no on
Yeah.
12?
Correct.
Where are we? Yeah.
So then we go to, I think we're going to go on to 13.
This is 13.
Does that seem right?
What about 11?
Yeah.
Oh,
Frank McCormick House.
It's that little brown one right next door.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, with the big porch.
Is that a duplex or a single family? Oh.
I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot here that's that interesting. We should just,
Right, sure, we
Going
can, we
down.
can skip.
nothing interesting on this one.
okay.
How about 13?
That was this one.
The blue
That's the one that was
Yeah, that's
worker
the one that I was like, it looks similar to mine, except mine's got the big thing. You know what I mean? Because I've got
Big
two
add-on.
windows at the top with the, where the,
roof line is.
yeah, right, except now mine has like a porch added and then the second empire to its
Yeah.
other side.
So it just doesn't look all that big for worker
kind of
housing,
a-
but does it mean that it
Well, so I think one of the things where we've got to be careful is he bought a lot of housing where he would like rent it out to his office staff, and that would be one form of worker housing.
Yeah.
And then you would have like the four.
Then you would have like the tenement housing.
Like the four at the
more.
very end of North
Yeah.
Street, which would be the worker housing.
Yeah.
I think there were two versions of worker housing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we've got to be, I think we've got to almost be careful how we
Yeah,
think of,
right.
just because it's called worker housing doesn't mean it's necessarily like the mill workers. It
Yeah.
could be the office
Right.
workers.
Right.
I mean, I think it still presents itself Plus, it's right next to the cemetery.
It's a nice, simple example
Yeah.
of, and actually,
Call it
the
later.
other one on the other side of it is pretty similar to it, the other one that's across.
This one here?
Cemetery, yeah. That, however, has been like severely
Yeah. Like if you were,
revamped in the last,
if you were gonna ask me to pick between the,
it does, yeah.
if you were gonna ask me to pick between
but they
the
did
two, I'd
change-
pick the little blue one.
Yeah, they did change the doors, and they added that shed dormer on the side.
So that
They
must
changed
be
the front
15.
door. Yeah, that's 50.
And it's interesting because it says for 15, similar design to 5.
Yeah.
And 5 is the one that we hit also.
And it really was similar, but now not so much with the changes. So I actually would stick with the blue one too, instead of that one,
Yeah,
if it were me.
okay, so I've got that
So
one checked
13?
off. 13 was a yes, but not a strong yes.
Okay, so 12 was 1940, we said, okay, so let's go to
15,
14. Oh, come on, you little bugger.
1929, Albert White.
I said all the streets end up making it so you don't get a clear, it doesn't go nice in line.
The little thing. Looks like 19, see, that looks like 1940.
Yeah,
That's a typical, if you showed me that, that's 1940.
yeah, even with the sidewalk and everything.
Yeah.
1929.
1929, okay, yeah. Yeah.
And let's see, this was just taken in October, so it's very, it hasn't
Yeah.
probably changed
Yeah, and it
drastically.
doesn't look like it was altered severely at any
Right.
point, so that's good.
Okay,
So-
all right, so we'll keep that one.
Yeah.
16,
This one,
Lala.
So
this
that,
one is a tough one, because they've done beautiful work,
yeah,
but they've done a lot of work.
yeah, it's very different than it looked of just a few years ago, so.
I can't picture this one.
It becomes a question of have they done
Too much.
too much work?
Right, the
Yeah.
porch is completely different than it had been,
Which one is it, 16?
16.
Okay.
I like the color better. It used to be that weird salmon pink, and I was never so sure about that, but
Did I? Oh, that's Global Court, sorry.
there you
That's
go.
it.
That's what it looked like.
Okay, that's
So that had the enclosed porch. It looked similar to a lot of the other ones in the
That to
neighborhood.
that.
Then, yeah.
yeah,
Like I said, I much prefer this,
right.
but for what we're talking about, but I mean, is it also an example of you took something that was extremely outdated, kept some of the integrity,
Yeah.
and updated it?
Right.
Well, it's in, we have a lot of 1870 homes, 1870 period.
Okay, so something
Right.
I think is interesting. So my grandparents lived in the yellow house across from the Extra Mart. And they have the porch is actually screened in. We have a photo from the 1870s where that was wide open.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this is reverse, like.
Right.
They did a lot of closing in of things.
Yeah.
And this is something where they reopened it up.
Right.
You don't even know if originally this.
It could have
It could have-
possibly been open, right? Because I think mine is the same way. It says it was enclosed at some point. So-
I'm just saying, it's something where we don't know because so many
Yeah.
changes, and I never would have thought my grandparents' house was like that until I saw this picture, and
Wow.
I fell over when I saw it. I'm like,
Yeah. Right?
so I'm just saying, I think it's a good example of an updated where you still have some of the original, I mean,
Frame.
the frame has not changed.
Right. Yeah. And it looks nice. It looks like they redid the doors and, I
Well, I'm
mean,
gonna bet it was an open porch to begin with. So at some point, they framed it in, and they opened it up. You know, the structure is there. It's one of those that you could call later.
Yeah, I think we call later if we decide to.
But I've been doing like little question marks next to my check marks.
right.
Okay. Well, That's 16.
Yeah.
I know, I have question marks on some, and then the ones that we say definitely, there's check marks.
Okay, that is not one of the properties. That one gets screwy. Okay.
So 18 is behind the tree.
Yep, because I think this,
That, I think, was replaced. Am I wrong on that one?
I don't,
I'm pretty sure it was, but
I think this isn't even part, I think this is,
The other, is that the other street?
I think that might be the other street.
oh, it's Wickstead, okay. Oh, all right. Because it's facing Wickstead,
Yeah,
so
the
that's
driveway's on
Wickstead.
Wickstead.
Oh, okay.
This is it. That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, you keep losing it. It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't like me.
But just,
There.
good.
Now you're going down Gilboa.
There we go.
Okay, this is 16.
Wow, that's changed. Okay, so it's 1855, that's a little cave.
Nothing special?
No,
Nothing changed?
no. Well, I think changed, but nothing special. It's not what it originally was.
It's got an old stone wall, if you want to look at landscaping type
Yeah.
situation.
That's the only thing that's
It's got the
making me not decide.
1870 chimney. The side of the house has not changed, but the front, they've done something. Why is the door a little off center? Maybe it was a half cape, built into a half cape, and then they built that right side. It could be.
I don't know, my door's off center on my
Yeah.
house, big time,
I don't know
so.
if they always had like the right tools to figure out.
But
what they were,
my doors
right?
are extremely off center, so.
I have windows that like one's up here from like the one next to it's like a little lower. I'm like, what were they doing? They didn't have their tape measure. Like,
It's a little period for
Measure-
for
what's your
being a
place
half
one?
cape.
Right.
Then with an expansion when they had children, but
Right.
it's kind of like 1850s. We never know about these dates if they're accurate.
Right.
right.
I mean, I think it's a, probably, I'm fine going no on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll agree with that. Oops, yeah,
So this one,
1970.
19.
It's your typical kind of ranch style. I like their bay window,
Yeah.
nice and big, but it's kind of.
So do we need to pick one from 1970 since we've done 1970 as a cutoff, or do we already have an example?
nope, it's non-contributing, so we're good.
What's the control?
Oh.
So I guess 74
Huh?
is the cutoff?
No, 1970. If you look
So-
right next to it, it says non-contributing.
I thought we had others that were like 77 that we said were, didn't we? I'm gonna just go back and quickly look. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think the only thing that we stuck with that was technically non-contributing was the rectory.
Oh, okay.
So
I think that's the only one that we,
wouldn't 1970, if that's the cutoff date, be contributing? Or is it 1969?
Well, I thought we were just going back 50 years, which would be 1974.
no, we had done a time period.
Okay.
We had, it's in one of my
Okay.
documents.
Okay, so I'm sure you've got it right.
Yeah,
So-
there was a conversation about this kind of started 4 years ago or something.
Yeah,
So
right.
1970
We could keep
was-
changing.
Right,
We
right,
could
right.
Add it for a while longer.
That's right.
But my question is, since we're doing a time period, what would make a 1970 house, if that's the last year, wouldn't you want an example of that in your spectrum? Not that this is the best 1970 house, but
Yeah.
do you not want,
We do, I think we do want to be accurate, right? Because
Yeah.
it's
Right.
not, like, the whole town isn't going to be the most beautiful historic houses.
Right.
So you probably do want something that's, on the
Pretty
periphery.
fine.
Yeah. I guess I still have trouble thinking of 1970 as historic.
Especially since,
the issue I'm having. I don't
especially
know.
since the 90s was only 10 years ago.
Right, right.
The 90s
Exactly.
was only
Yeah,
10
that's how
years
I feel.
ago,
I'm
and
like,
I will
you know.
die on that hill.
What do you mean? That was just yesterday.
I will die on that hill.
I'll come right with you.
right?
Yeah, it looks like when we discussed it, I mean, because there was even still like some 1957s we did as non-contributing when we went through them. It could have been based on the style. It was like just a
Yeah.
ranch or something. We were
Yeah,
like,
and it doesn't go with the
yeah,
narrative
we
again.
didn't go just based on date. We had gone based on.
Roughly
We
the
had looked at
narrative.
them and we had,
Yeah.
we had made,
But there are some 1970, 68 houses that are really unique in their, like, in their style.
If they're very
but
mid-century.
but I don't know that we,
Ranch.
Yeah.
Like a special ranch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but I don't know that we,
done off of like some significant architect's plan.
Yeah, right.
but I don't know that we've come, maybe,
Yeah.
if we
I don't know if
come
we have any,
by
like,
one,
No,
we
we have
can.
not.
I'm saying if we come by one, we'll,
Right.
we say, we go, nope, we'll switch this one, but I think until we come by that.
Okay.
Okay, so 20 Gilbo,
1877.
Joseph Quintal House.
Was that the one with the explosion? It might have been, because it's the blue one, maybe.
Oh, is that it?
It might have been, I'm not sure.
Because it
I
looks
keep-
like you searched for 14, but that says 20. So I don't know if that's 14 or.
no, this is what house it's on. This one here, the 20.
The
This is-
black,
Yeah.
okay.
You can't see the house, so I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to see with that pine tree there,
Can we
but,
take that pine tree down? and-
right?
That's as close as I can
Can we
get.
Photoshop that out? No, I'm just joking.
I wonder if we do, if the assessor just gives us a,
Right, or maybe Macris, because that'll give you a 1989 photo. Maybe the tree will be a little smaller. The tree's still in that one. We're trying to shrink the trees.
It looks bigger in that one, eh?
Yeah, right?
Somehow.
It's funny. Funny angle, maybe. Because I think that one might be the one I was thinking of with the little tidbit of
oh,
history.
not what I wanted to do, this one here.
Does it tell you who owns it? Is that, did the Reynolds still own that?
The assessor site will tell you who still owns it,
This
like the
one,
GIS
my-
site.
That was, in middle school, it was my friend's grandfather's
Oh,
house.
no kidding.
I just don't know if they still live there or if he's
Yeah.
alive still.
that's what it looks like.
Wow, ooh, it's,
Well, that's a side view.
oh.
That's
So
okay.
big.
That's a side view.
Yeah, without that
Film a
tree,
movie on
without
that.
that tree there, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So what was the history of that one? I'm just curious if that was the one I had been thinking of. Yeah, the widow and daughter were killed in an explosion,
That's
resulting
it. Yeah,
from dynamite
that's the
getting
one.
into a coal stove.
Yeah, it was a crazy story.
Yeah, that's an odd story.
I like that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
interesting.
even
I mean, I don't
Interesting
like
little
that. It's a
tidbit.
terrible
Yeah,
story,
it's
but-
like, it's
but
Memorable.
even here, like, you can see, there's still, like, the house still has, it's not the vinyl siding.
Right.
It's not,
it's got like wide,
it's got that,
That board.
it still has that.
Asbestos, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
So I think that house is a yes.
Okay, and this is number 20.
Yeah. Unless anybody else has.
No, I would put a yes on it.
Sure.
And I personally, I love the side porch.
Yeah, I do too.
I want that side
And
porch.
it's been there the whole time, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Which way to go?
this one's 21.
21.
No to this one?
You do not want pictures of that. What it looks like now.
I know.
I know, but
What's its history like? I'm just curious. I'm
If you,
not
I mean,
familiar with
seriously,
that.
if you can find an old, like that house, the people that they have living there
Is
have
that 1905?
destroyed it.
Yeah.
It
It's
looks
not
really
looking great.
trashy.
Yeah.
That was
As sad as that is to say.
1905, is that right?
Buff's family lived there.
The who?
Buff.
Oh,
You know Buff the highway?
yeah. All right.
So,
It's interesting because it has a double-deck front porch, although I can think of another example with a double-deck front porch, which is the one with the metal iron things right as you come out of that, like you're gonna, I'm horribly bad at explaining. But like if you're going down, yeah, I think so. I want to say yes, because it's like, you know where the flashing light is, like you're coming from Davis Street?
Yep.
And then like, if you go down that way, you can catch the end of Charles Street. So like along that upper part there, there's like, I don't even know what street that is. I'm terrible with that. But it's got like wrought iron, like little columns that look like they're holding up the porches, but it's like a double decker like that.
okay.
I wish I could remember what street that is. I'm just horrible with street names.
I know everything by like different, so this is considered a tall, 3-story Victorian.
Simple for a
Does not look
Victorian.
like a Victorian.
I'm trying to see where we're getting Victorian from this.
Probably the age, not the
I
style.
think in the interest of time, we probably need to just not investigate history of everything.
Yeah,
You know, and just
right.
say like, either take a vote, there's 5, an odd number of us, you know what I mean? Or-
Right, yeah.
Okay, so this one,
Some things
this 3-story Victorian, I'm saying no.
Yeah.
That's 22.
22?
That's 22.
Yeah, well,
This is 23.
Which again says worker housing.
enlarged. Now, that was added on to not long ago, though, right? Like, that was within the
just
last
like their
20,
Airstream.
20 years? Yeah, right, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I want to say that was added on to in the last 20 years.
There's a Theron House, this is a Theron House, and across the street at 24 is also one.
Yeah.
So it looks like they were running the street there.
Yeah.
So one of the things, with St. Denis being where it was, you've got a lot of the Italian and the French right in the area. So you've got the French, because it's actually Terrian, you've got a lot of the French and the Italians, and they were the ones that were going to St. Denis.
The French. Right,
Yep.
yeah.
Because St. Denis was actually started because of the French population in Douglas.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
That would make sense, because the the historic owners of my house were French, and they are buried in St. Denis, so
Yeah,
it would make sense.
So this area, you're very much going to see a lot of the French-Canadian names because of that.
Okay, does that mean something we want to keep? Oh, there's another Theron. It's like,
Yeah, they're taking over the street a bit.
few, yeah.
Right?
Well, like I said,
And then we get into like 1990, which we don't need, and
Yeah, this other half of
I
the
don't-
street.
I can't tell if
1978,
that's a 1923 house.
Right.
by looking at it, no.
It doesn't look like a 1923 house.
You know what we're not even on Cook Street yet. I'm like, you know what, I like the Quartz Garage, but we're not looking at that.
Yeah.
okay, so let's just kind of, let me go back up to the top of the street for a second, and we're just going to kind of drive down the street.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep your eyes, I'm going to try and do it as centered so we can look at both sides as possible.
Okay.
I will do my best. I am not the best.
To drive this computer.
Yes, I am not the best
Taking us
driver.
for a cruise.
Watch out for that car.
I said, let me know if you see anything that I need to turn
Cars
and.
driving backwards, so.
Like, just thinking about it, there's not anything
told you,
that
there's
really
not-
jumps
yeah, it's
out
not
at
a
me,
special
you
road.
know? It doesn't, nothing really jumps out at me.
I think there's much more on Main Street.
No, there is one person there, you're getting to the house that has like the best lawn ever.
But, okay, but something like this one, now which house is this one?
32?
32. This to me might just be one of, it's one of those examples
Yeah, 1934, we don't have many of those.
Okay.
Joe?
Yeah.
Joe's-
It may not be in the best shape, but it's very much, I don't think the style has changed.
I think it's, to me, this is also what's around it, like the steps and the columns and,
Yeah.
Like I said, it may not be the prettiest house.
Well, remember the 30s, what was the period?
big spread.
It was like a, kind of a colonial revival or something.
Well, I mean, you had the Great Depression, there was,
Yeah, it's during the Depression.
yeah.
That's been redone
That-
recently. Yep.
Like I said, I'm just,
Is that nice?
I would say yes to 32.
okay.
yeah, I got 32.
No, it's actually.
But these
the
are
next
getting
one.
like
30.
newer.
Yep, I'm just,
Right.
what's this one?
5.
35 is 1978.
All right. What was 34? Are you trying to do
1941.
odd numbers or even numbers? Or?
Well, we were trying to do both, right?
Yeah, 34.
Yeah.
That's kind of unusual because there's two stair things going up, but they're not like in line with each other.
That one's 34.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, we could maybe mark it and just have it be something we look at to see if it looks like they've done a lot of, they were doing work on it.
1941.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if we needed something representative
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
era, you know?
Question mark.
Okay.
Sure.
So, I mean, here's a perfect example of a 1950s house. I mean, going from the steps up,
Yeah.
The steps being askew like that seems so odd to me, like they didn't want to make it go up and then straight up. It's kind of like
I know.
veers off and then goes the other way. I don't know.
but I'm just, like,
Yeah.
But that's not our story. It's not the 50s. I mean, it's going to be
Right.
50s.
but I'm saying, if you want a 1950s house,
If you wanted like a
The typical,
example
yeah.
of.
that's a
yeah.
1950s house. This is a
Okay.
90s.
So what do we do with 36?
I guess we'll keep that one.
And right next to it is another example of a right there, you've got two,
38.
36 and 38, two examples of 1950s housing
I like
right
that
next
one.
to each other.
I like that one
That's a much
better
better example.
because the sidewalk goes.
Doesn't drive you-
right up and I don't look at it and go, what were they doing?
And here is a 1949 one right on the road.
39, yeah.
Yeah, that
Say
really
no
is.
on that one.
I understand.
Back before they had, what is that, setback guidelines?
I'm less than 15 feet from the center of the
Oh, yeah,
road.
me too, on
Look how
my
close
Cemetery
that one
Street
is.
side, I'm like almost right on the road.
Yeah, mine's
Crazy.
crazy.
41?
I don't think we need 41, do we?
This one, I feel like has some history on it. But
John Bombera House, 1925.
That's always good if it has history.
I know we said not doing much on the history, but I'm
You
pretty
just,
sure.
yeah, if it's really important, just maybe.
Just let me do a quick,
And 40, I know what 42 is across the street, just Nap,
Oh, yeah, on the corner.
which is kind of different.
Yeah, it's maintained. It's
no, that one, that's not the one I was thinking of.
So I'd say no on that one.
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to
42 is
do
kind of interesting.
42, though?
Yeah, it's a presence, and it's, everybody.
You come into town.
Everybody's going to see that house first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 42.
I think that's
It's not beautiful, but it's a landmark.
no, but
in a
it's a
way.
landmark.
Thing is, at one point, it was kept in beautiful condition.
Yeah. Pumpkins.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of millwork.
We can tell it was around October when these were taken.
I know, right?
Okay,
Very
so
identifiable.
There's a skeleton sitting in the chair waving.
Right?
we are about to get into very screwy mill housing situations.
It's okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Finish Gilboa.
How about that yellow one right there?
Yeah, that yellow
what
one
year
is pretty.
that?
I think it's.
It is.
this one.
Yeah.
53,
It's a nice one.
1906.
Oh, and it's got a nice chunk of land, too.
Yeah, and we don't have an example of a 1906.
Yeah, okay.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Keep that.
This one upsets me. No, not this one, next one.
1936.
Put that tree down. There's nothing wrong with that tree.
Oh. Yeah, I hate when people take
was a
down
great
trees
tree.
unnecessarily. Maybe there was, we don't know, right?
I don't know.
Or maybe it's just for solar.
Could it
This
hit
one,
bugs
this
or-
one, this one, the door placement bothers me.
The what?
The door placement bothers me on this one.
Right.
You guys Libras?
Yeah.
That's a no.
Libra thing.
This one?
Yeah, I don't see the need for that one.
Okay.
Good, because the door really bothers me.
We'll have to veto any that are not even for you, Sarah.
No, it's not even that it's not even, it's just awkward.
Yeah, right. It's like an architect would be like, what?
All right.
I like this house.
Wow, it looks like it's floating in air, doesn't it, from the perspective?
And it's 1850, and this one's almost unique. You don't have a lot of these ones the further out you get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Sure.
That's a definite.
Okay, now we get
It's got all even numbers. This is always a weird street. It's like all even numbers.
Yeah, well, because you've got
the water.
You've got the Mumford.
It's gotta be.
This is where I hit the deer.
Okay, this is, I got to do some research on this area. Is this the one I sent to you? Was this one of my research areas that I sent to you? Okay. So,
Yes, I think.
you've got 82, 84, 86, and 88. And then in the back, you've got 80.
Oh,
Okay.
The two were 82.
Duplex, two duplexes.
They were mill housing duplexes.
But
I like that they look
86
the
put it
same.
down a couple of years ago.
Yep, and that one got completely redone. They very much changed window placements and that kind of stuff,
Maybe
and
we
that
should-
really bothered.
maybe we should pick the other one. Pick the one that didn't get remodeled.
Right.
So,
Then
I did like both of those before that.
Then the house in the back was a Zivkak house that the family owned one of the duplexes, and they had the land, and they built the house
I
in the
remember this.
back. Remember, I did.
Yeah.
It was a confusing research
What was
thing.
what's the number in the back? I'm trying to
That was
age.
80.
1980. Okay.
And that was done in 72, so that
Oh,
one's...
number 80, okay.
That one's non-contributing. I think we go with 82 to 80, 82, 84, which is the blue one. I think we skipped the 86, 88, which is the one that burnt
Oh, boy.
down.
I'd like to hear
It
that
was,
story.
no, it was very spooky. I lived in there. I lived
Oh,
in
really?
82.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have heard of a few
In the
haunted
attic,
ones
I would
around.
always hear, we'd keep it locked, and
Oh,
we'd
yeah.
always hear footprints. Like people walking around, or like
Wow.
chairs, and it was empty.
Oh, my
So the
God.
North Street ones, my uncle owned one of them, and my husband lived in it before we got married. And in the attic, they had like the polyester curtains that had actually like gotten singed from the sun coming in through the windows. My mom so bad wanted to go up into the attic right above the bedroom and just like start making spooky noises. 'Cause my husband was petrified of the attic, would not go up into it. She was like all upset to like start making him freak out.
Attics are spooky. That-
Okay, so then we have this one here, which is 90, which was built in 1850. This one is the Maori Prentice House. Right next to it is 94, which is the John sorry, it's coming to the end of the night.
McMahon.
House, which was built in 1846.
I think they both are good,
Yeah.
because this looks like 1850.
Yeah,
Got Summer kitchen on the left, it's a front, that's a,
I think
Yeah.
both of them are
Okay. What numbers are we at?
90 and 94.
Okay.
Curious about this no macros reference one.
Oh, God, okay. This
Am I opening a can of worms?
okay, this one gets really, really screwy. Okay, let me
Why
see.
does it say
This is 114? Oh, because it's all mixed up,
This is,
right?
yeah, okay. I'm going to do my best. It'll be easier to show
Oh,
on.
here's the Carter Square Memorial.
Yeah, because it didn't
Way
have a
at the end.
number.
Oh.
Okay, so here we go. Here was 94.
Yeah.
Back here is 100. Then here you've got 102 to 104. And then here is 106. This is a two-family that for some reason they don't do the picture on. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there was a few that were like, yeah, duplex numbers, that they, in the town side, it's just one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very, I don't,
We'll skip it.
I don't get it.
Yeah. We don't need the agita.
So like I said, 100 is
the
if
one
you
on the
were
way
to
back.
go, yeah, if you were to go
driveway.
back that driveway.
Okay.
This is the duplex of 102 and
interesting.
104. And you can see right
And
here.
that's totally Millhouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, we should probably. do
And
that.
then this one here is 106.
Which looks so much more redone, like vinyl.
But at the same time, now I'm not sure if 106 is actually 106-108, or if it's just, I believe based on the double mailbox, it's 106-108.
Yeah.
But unlike 102-104, it's not listed that way.
It's weird how like the assessor's different than what's on the street, like because I've physically walked this more than once and it's different.
I'm not a fan of these three houses. They are very,
Yeah, but I think the one to the left of it, whatever number
the
that.
102, 104,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
Like I said, it just, when you're trying to place them, they get very, very complicated.
right. Okay.
And
so
then, obviously, the mill.
we are like an hour and a half in already. I don't know
Yep.
what people's schedules are. So just, because I marked mine, like I marked the streets off, and on Gleason Court, we only have the grammar school. I'm assuming we all would want to include that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to include the goodness store too,
Yeah.
Okay.
for sure.
So,
Why don't we start at the very first page,
On
not
A
look at
Street?
this, just go through and see if there's any that stand out that we're like, we're adding this.
and, okay, all right.
You know, just based on name.
You can add mine if you want, but I might be partial. But it does have an
No, we
interesting
should,
history because
yeah.
we have the underground tunnel that they used when Douglas was a dry town. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
See, that's where I first lived in Douglas.
Oh,
when I
really?
moved there.
Oh, no
Yes.
kidding. Which apartment?
The one that faces A Street. Like, so if the cemetery's here.
With the
it's-
open porch or with
Yeah.
the? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You're number 2 A Street?
Yep.
The very first one on our list.
Yep. Yep. Always the first one on the voting list too. Like,
There's a
yeah,
lot
because it is an interesting history. Like, you know, it was, it had the whole underground tunnel with the illegal liquor when it was a
That's a
dry
really cool
town, and
story,
then
yeah.
like, it's missing some of its, obviously like the barn that, where the tunnel was hidden is gone now. That came down
Yeah,
like late
I'm missing a
90s,
barn,
and then
too.
like, my garage is about to go, so that's not going to be there, but, you know, and it was also Hayward owned it during, I think, he sold it in the 40s, so from the time Charles Mercier died in 1920, and I think his heirs sold it to Hayward, so then Hayward owned it from 20 until I think 40-something when he sold it, so.
Okay.
It's got both of those things kind of contributing to its history, but.
I think the Bennett Cider Mill, which is 24A,
Yeah, I like that
think
one,
that
too.
one is a yes. And I'm not sure if it's, I think it's Pascal's house that's the other really interesting one, but I'm not positive. We'd have to look at them.
Well, if you want, I can pull them up on the,
Well,
Okay.
we've got if we start doing that, like I
We'll
said.
get distracted.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll need a meeting part 2.
Yeah, part 3, actually.
Yeah.
So the Axe Mill, we know we need to pick one of those.
I really like I wish we could kind of pick groups almost, because I like that the 3 on B Street are all sort of the same.
Yeah, we-
And
Well,
then I
and
like
that's the same with the North
the
Street.
north, yeah, I like those too, because they're all the same.
Well, why
So
don't we
it's
do,
like-
why don't we do that?
Can we do groups?
Why, we can
Like
do
the 3
that.
B Street houses, the
Yeah. And then
North
the
Street
the
one.
4 North Street, which is 31 to 37. And those ones really haven't changed. The cool thing about the North Street is they kind of all give you an idea of how the different porches could be.
Yeah,
Because they give you a
interesting.
couple of different versions.
Yeah, because like, I think those are great examples of mill worker housing, and so is B Street.
Bowen Court, which was the interesting one.
Bowen, oh,
Remember,
I don't know numbers. I don't know.
because remember we did those ones?
Personally, I love the
Methodist
tin shop, J.C. Hammond Tin Shop, but it's like very in need of work right now.
Okay.
But I like it because it's an interesting, like, it's a long, skinny, like, federal style, I want to say.
Yeah, there's definitely some that
It's
stand
kinda-
out on that road, but I don't know them off, the top of my head.
Yeah.
I really
We want to do we want to do Pine Grove. We want to do the
Yeah.
cemetery.
For sure.
On C Street, you've probably only got a couple that.
There's one I really like on C Street. You know the one with like they call it like witch windows? The windows are like at an
Yeah,
angle.
2
I
C
like
Street.
that one.
2.
I really
Yeah.
like that
It's my
one.
mom's house.
Oh, is it really? Oh, tell her I love it. It's beautiful.
She moved in there in the past few years?
Yes.
Okay, because my son's friend lived there.
The Gagnons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we need to,
with them.
That's a gorgeous house.
Those windows are.
Dawn, which one on Charles Street?
They're like on the floor.
Mine's,
in the room.
mine's
Wow,
25.
really?
And then
Oh
there's
my gosh.
27 next door.
Okay, do those
love it.
two?
Those are the mill houses.
They actually
Okay.
have, so.
We definitely want to do 3 Cook Street, and we probably want to do 9 Cook Street.
3 Cook and 9 Cook, let me,
Yeah, because 3 Cook is the mill, and
Oh,
then 9 Cook is the blue
the
brick
mill.
house.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I like that.
You know which one I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
that's a nice one.
What's the Douglas Axe Company business office at
That's-
19?
Um,
'Cause that sounds interesting. Or the Arthur Balcom. I feel like I've seen that sign.
mark them and we'll look at them next time.
Okay.
We want to do the Cook Street Bridge.
I don't see.
Yeah, we
I'm
do.
having trouble
The
finding
Cook
them
Street
now.
Bridge or the Mechanic Street Bridge?
Cook Street Bridge.
The new one? Like that's,
The little teeny
Dark-
tiny bridge that.
Cook Street, right where the mill is.
Where the goodness store is, kind of.
yeah.
That's
but
1908.
It is?
Yeah.
Really? How come I thought I had a more recent date on it? Oh, maybe just because they did the top of it over? Maybe that's why.
I don't know.
I'll look next time I go by, because I swear there was like a recent date
On
on it.
this, on this page with Cook Street, so Cottage Street with the fire station.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely the fire station.
And then I feel like there's a, Cottage Street is so short, but there's a couple pretty houses, which are probably the Hunt houses.
The ones with the columns and stuff?
Like I said, those
Yeah,
those
like-
are ones that we're going to have, to. Like I said, some of these we're still going to really need to, I don't know if it's worth everybody kind of doing their own
We pick a
research.
street.
Yeah,
I mean-
or like things that jump out at you?
I don't know if it's, because I mean, this is, even trying to keep things moving, which we
Right.
did much better this time,
Yeah.
we
It
still.
still takes a long time.
So one thing I'm thinking of too is we've got those B forms that we keep talking about, and we've seen them, you've seen some of them.
I've got all
I've
the,
seen
I've downloaded a lot
and
of the
Christy
pictures.
haven't
I've
seen them.
downloaded a lot of these pictures already.
Well, okay, there's a couple things that I'm thinking here. Like, one, we wanted to take pictures of everything anyway, right?
We did, and then we said we didn't. We've gone back and forth on this so many times.
Because we probably have a lot of pictures of them already for some of them, and then others we might need like updated or something.
Can you get them off of Google, can you get them off of Google that are any good quality, do you know?
Me off a go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But can the average person do it?
I'd like an example of Douglas Axe Manufacturing housing as well. like down, like Charles Street area.
So,
Yeah.
'Cause I
Well,
think
isn't that
those
what
are-
North Street is?
Yeah, they kind of are too, I guess. They're kind of similar.
Okay, so-
Different styles, though, I think.
I'm gonna show you, okay, so right
Right here.
here.
Screenshot it?
Yep, watch. Just so you can see how I do this. Come on.
And they want a printed photo, right? That was the story.
Yes, that they do.
I'll go change the camera angle. Since we're not using screen share.
Thanks.
The one thing that stinks about this is that Google technically has their stuff on it.
Oh, their watermark.
Yep. So that is something that we would have to
Have
work,
to clip out.
around, and we might not be able to work around it
But then we need to
completely.
have it in a 4:6 proportion too,
Yep, so.
or whatever size we went
with. JPEG, let's just say U001.
I mean, we could also like just kind of scroll through them on our own and pick ones that really stand out to us.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering, like, I mean, at this point, are we better doing like,
And then maybe we can just compare lists or like bring your top however
Okay.
many, you know?
That looks good.
that's what I just
Like a
did
screenshot.
off of Google.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's using this where I don't necessarily, if I was using my computer at work where I've got the
Yeah,
bigger
right.
screen.
You do have
I'm-
Google's shadow there, though, I think.
Yeah, well, I was doing it real quick.
Shadow.
Like, I see the shadow of the thing that's on their car when they drive by, they.
Oh, but like, if I was using my computer at work,
Yeah.
I can use a bigger screen, so I
Right.
can get I can
Yeah.
use better pixels.
Right.
This, I'm using my little laptop screen,
Yeah,
so I can't get as in-depth of pictures.
Right.
And I mean, there's some times where you're not gonna get a great picture, it's just, this one, the color saturation's off.
Oh, yeah.
So there's basically 9 pages left in here that we, bits and pieces that we haven't partially worked, entire pages that includes A Street. That would be two pages apiece, so if you want to leave her out, because just do the 4 of us here.
And we can split
do
up
a piece.
streets.
Yeah, and come back with what we think. That would be an easier meeting.
We can, and that can honestly be emailed or in a lot, like a Google.
I mean, I can share this document with everybody.
Yeah.
I can share this document with everybody, and
You know, kind of like if we took the first 2 pages, Dawn takes them.
Yep.
The next, page 3 and 4.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, 3 and 4 have a lot of empty spaces around, around is that doable?
Yeah? Uh-huh. All right, so I will take page 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then, did we do 3 and 4?
We've done parts, but they still have to be,
Main Street only got done up until
Definitely three.
274.
I'll do 3 and 4.
3 and
Okay, so
4.
Christie's got 3. I did that wrong.
But what if we like have ones we like that are in the section that we're particularly looking at?
Well, we all live here, so if there's something that we really know, then we can mention, we can
Right.
bring it up at some point.
so 5 is
5 we
done.
did. We did most of 6.
So we got to sign the rest of 6, because it's good on Main Street.
The only thing missing on 6 is 4 houses, 175 to 195
No.
Main.
Oh, no, we,
We did that?
170, yeah, we
I have it being not done.
Grammars.
did them. I did,
We didn't decide to
decided no.
photograph them.
I I did not highlight them. They should have been 175, we decided to do, that is, that's Bilodeau's house.
Oh, that's important.
That one we decided to do, and then the other 3 we decided not to do.
Okay.
That's why that one did not get highlighted, because it was not right with the other ones when I was doing them
Okay.
quickly before I left.
Okay, all
While
right, you're
talking.
forgiven.
I was doing a lot.
So 7, just starting after the highlight, like it, we decided on 274, but 275 on.
So then it would be,
So Scott, we can give you that if you want.
that's 244 Main Street,
So start at 275 Main,
275. Okay,
and then
is 244 a yes?
244 is
Not
not a
highlighted.
yes.
Nope.
And all objects, like monuments, memorials, whatever, are an automatic yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. And then so Scott, then you've got the top of page 8,
Yeah,
but we did Manchog,
right.
so that's all kind of working out.
So then that leaves Martin Road, North Street.
Northeast Maine. So Sarah, can you do 9 and 10?
9 and 10, let's see, North Street.
Because North Street only goes until North Street only goes until the corner, because we didn't go up North Street. Remember, we made the decision that we were going to just go
So
to,
what number does it go to on North Street?
it just goes to 37.
Okay.
So it just goes to those 4 houses, and then we
Oh.
stopped, because North Street, you got a couple, and then you weren't getting anything until the very end. So
I'd
there were
kind of like to include the 4 as a group.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. I think that's a really good idea. Because what I really like about that is it shows how the 4 each one's had a little bit of a
Yeah.
modification, like to the porches and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That show how they've changed.
Yeah.
But they're still very much what they were.
That's a good example. Okay, so just
So
going
you want me
back,
to do 9 and 10?
9
or-
and 10,
And then what about,
and then there's, who wants to take 11? It's just an extra.
I'll do 11.
Okay, so I want to say Yacino Drive ended up having to be included because of where it was
shape.
located. There was no way.
They're all
we-
60s.
But we're probably not going to take any of that.
We couldn't include them. We
Yeah.
couldn't include Yacino Drive. It was,
Yeah.
Where is School Court? I don't even,
It
like,
is
where in town?
behind The extra
It's
mark.
behind it.
Oh, okay, all right, I get you.
very
I was
strange.
like, I never even
Yeah.
We
thought
probably
about
won't take any of
that.
that either. Well, I
nope,
don't know.
nope, School Court had the really,
They have a block building?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I think I know the ones you mean now.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the Yacino
okay.
Drive, no matter what we did, because they're right off of A Street, they're those three.
Yeah, right.
There was no way we couldn't include them,
Mm-hmm.
but they were just very standard, like, houses, and we looked at them, we're like,
Right.
eh.
Those are on
Yeah.
the other side of A Street, right?
How many houses?
Yeah, Yacino Drive is like down the other end.
That little
Like, almost like,
dead end.
you go all the
Here
way,
we go.
yeah, all the way down to the end of A on that
Right
side,
here.
and it's down there.
We have 250 properties altogether.
250 properties. Because I was just,
There were 154 from the 1800s, 50 properties from 1900 to 1945. There are 24 properties from 46 to 70. The reason we decided to stick with those is because it was covering the post-war in the Schuster Mill, the
might
height
be
of the.
good to share with everybody too when you're sharing that other document, I think. That's a good summary.
And then the 1970 plus, there were 22 properties.
Because I was just thinking about taking the pictures, and I had, kind of volunteered, more my husband, to take the pictures, but it does take a while to do, because just walking through it and like seeing what was missing and everything, I did that in like 2 separate, like 3-hour sessions, like it takes a while.
Yeah.
And that's without taking photos. So what I was thinking about, if we decide that we don't necessarily need to do all these photos, we could also, I can compile what I've got between the drive that I have, like some local pictures. We've got some from the assessor. There's a lot of places we can get photos from, and again, we could sort of split it up in
And-
like online versions, and like a handful might need to get real photos.
I've got them on my, I've got them not compressed on my computer at work. They're compressed on here, which means I would have to unzip them, which could take a very long time.
Yep.
But I've got all of the ones from David, and I've got them organized.
On the computer that sits in the library.
My computer down in the archive.
Okay, so I wonder if we could, do we need to do a, like, do we need to see them, do you think?
Let me go to work tomorrow. Let me log on, let me actually see what I've got. I can quickly, like, just do a quick inventory of, like, what we've got I can show.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, this is a great list, so then we can, like, highlight whatever, check mark, like, what we've got that we think are
Because a
decent.
lot of what David sent were a lot of what he took were 2008.
Okay.
There were some later ones, but most of them were 08. The 08 ones he took were good. A lot of winter time photos, which were nice because you didn't have trees.
Yeah.
As pretty as the
It
spring
takes the
ones
building, yeah.
are. But we would have to kind of double check those properties just to make sure that is still what the property looks like
Right.
today.
I'm the worst about, like, not noticing when things change.
And it's funny, I will not notice somebody's haircut, but I will notice that that house does, that house has got something different. But we can, so it would have to be like, if a house is drastically different, and then some of the problem is some of those files are corrupted, some of them are itty bitty ones.
Right.
You know the problem with.
Yeah.
So I would definitely have to also kind of do a quick look to see the integrity and the sizing of the files, because some of them are like, they're thumbnail files as opposed to legitimate
Yeah.
photo files.
And, wait a minute, but they were, no, now I'm going back even before that, because Sean and Sue, who were on the board before, took real pictures before everything was so digital, and I'm sure they were printed, and
I have none of that.
I couldn't talk to Sue.
Do we have a file cabinet here?
No,
We never got a drawer?
not that I'm aware of. We have just the mail slot.
Because the cemetery's
Yeah,
got a
we do have
drawer.
a file cabinet, right.
So I feel like we should have, unless.
I wonder if maybe we do? We could check the hallway or ask, maybe? I mean, I know cemeteries is like down the hall.
I can poke
Maybe.
Lisa tomorrow morning.
Okay.
When I get to work, I can send
We
Lisa.
probably should just set it up for that, but I don't think we do, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we're also moving to digital for so many other things. I don't know how much a file cabinet would do us good now.
But if we had one, we might have something in it.
Yeah, that's what, if we've already got one, we might have stuff in it. And Donna might be worth poking over David to see if she's found anything else in the house.
What, like what?
Remember how she found that one document?
Oh, yeah.
Donna,
So I'm going to do page 9, starting with North Street, starting with 2 North Street, because we already did Mechanic, right?
we did Mechanic,
Okay,
we did
so we're done.
Manchog,
Okay.
we did Gilbo.
So I should just do page 10 from like 2 North Street down, and then page 9 from 2 North Street down, and then page 10.
And honestly, North Street, I want to say most of North Street
Yeah.
is going to be probably yeses,
Oh, yes,
wouldn't you say? I mean, you've got the mill.
it's not that long.
It's not long, you've got the
Right.
mill and you've got mill housing. I
You
can't think-
definitely get the 4 matching ones.
Yep, you've got
There's a
the,
couple, I don't know, like 1941, maybe not anything too special. This commercial brick, presently Verizon.
oh, that's on
Verizon.
Northeast Main Street.
Yeah.
That is the one kind of across from David's Package,
Yeah.
the Douglas
right?
Village package.
What was that originally?
It was a
Building.
it was a telephones, it was a,
Oh.
it was,
And that's only 1960, so I'd probably, that one.
it's,
First.
I believe it's been rebuilt a couple of, it's been a
okay.
telephone exchange multiple times.
And then why don't you skip Orchard? There's one
Yeah, 'cause
Orchard
that
Place, and then
seems-
Scott will do that street, so.
Okay,
You don't need to
yeah,
cover
'cause
just that one
Orchard-
property.
Yeah, like I said, and Yacino Drive was those three that was built by
Yacino.
Yacino.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of his first name and I couldn't. Frank, was it Frank?
I think it's Frank.
Thank you.
And I think we looked at him and we were just like, no, they were run of the mill.
Yeah, right.
So when do we want this back, or
What do people
Set a
think?
deadline.
And,
I like deadline.
yeah, I mean, this won't take long. I can do it in a week, but we don't need to all
So,
like push for that.
Rebecca, in a timeline mode, this being June 1st, what's your comfort level from where, as far as you getting what documents you need in, and then what's the by return back deadline? Did you have deadline dates for this project to make whatever has to happen for town meeting, or?
No, we're not ready for town meeting on this one yet. We
No.
needed to get the A form. Okay, we needed to get the A form done with photos prepared to submit to Ben. And did he want a narrative begun, or did he just want the A form started? I'm back and forth on that, do you remember?
I'm reading this email.
I'm trying to,
Email. A data sheet, we don't really need the narrative, I don't think.
if anything, I think he wanted like a,
Just a reference to, like, so on this sheet, we would say photo number 1, you know, we would just have a reference to what the photo numbers were, and then submit those. But I don't think we need that. He doesn't ask for the narrative, but somehow I feel like we should have the start of it, because you kind of have it in your head, and I think they need
I
to know
think,
that.
I think what he needs for a narrative is why are we picking, why is this our district?
Yeah.
Like, so we would need to be able to put together, like, this is a district we've chosen, these are the 2 time periods that we've chosen for the district. So we would need to start getting together some of the.
So is that like October?
He has not,
There's no magic.
there's no date.
Maybe we could just do a meeting in a month, just to.
Yeah, I think we'd probably do a meeting in a month and then
Yeah.
work on it in the meantime. And so like,
Right.
to answer your question, Scott, is like, there's probably going to be a lot of checkpoints with the Mass Historical Commission, and
Okay.
we'll just be like, okay, here's, because also like, it's embarrassing long ago, like something like 10 years ago, Sue, who took those photos, had gone before the group and like kind of presented some of the forms we had, and it was very well received, so we're like energized, and then it kind of all, I don't know, then it went in a lot of different directions. So I think if we get with them and say, okay, this looks great, we get the photos, and then we do a little bit of a narrative, that's kind of like step 1, and they're like, okay, that's great, but you're gonna need to do this and that. And then they'll probably have us do something else, you know what I mean? And then eventually we'll need to ask for money.
So what it is
For a
we basically
consultant.
need to prove to them, we've got enough stuff that they okay where we're at.
Because they need to okay that it even becomes, that they
That
even
we're
nominate it.
viable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once they think that we're viable, we then need to start begging for money
For a consulting.
to get a consultant.
Yeah.
We have a budget we currently have a
4,500,
49,
something like that.
4,900
Not
maybe?
5,000, not 4,000.
Yeah, we're somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000. And a consultant is going to cost us anywhere between $15,000 and $25,000.
Okay.
So we have a very large thing to obviously overcome. Ben basically said the smaller steps that we can take, that he can approve, that we can do ourselves, the cheaper the consultant is going to be for us, because we've been able to do more of the work.
Yeah.
But what he said is, don't go big. Do everything in little steps. Was that pretty
I
much?
don't remember hearing him say that, but I really like it.
Or, no, oh, no,
I
that,
mean, all the other stuff up to the.
no, I think that was when him and I talked, and I talked with
okay.
you afterwards.
Okay.
He was like, because we were looking at we were trying to do everything so big.
Yeah, and that's probably why it's taken so long, because we did all those forms, tried to make them perfect, went through like various stages of them to find out we didn't even need that form, you know?
So everything we've always tried to do has been so we've gone so big in the steps, and he's like, let's do the A form. Get the A form exactly how it needs to be. Then get the photos to correspond with the A form. We will view those. Like, we got the map, I sent him the map, he's like, okay, this is actually good. Your map is good. The number of properties you have is good.
Yeah.
Because when we first sent him 415, he's like, no.
Yeah, it was like, just like, you can't do the whole town.
No. And so we've been in contact with him, and he's constantly coming back to us being like, nope, you need to do this. Okay, you've done this, now you need to do this.
And then we'll figure out like what meeting, like we'll just figure out as we go along what meeting is the right one to go to.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you want to do for,
Yeah, so I'm pretty flexible.
Tomorrow, that meeting is here?
Yes, it's in this room, yeah. 7 o'clock,
I feel like I should just sleep here.
right? I feel like that a lot.
Okay, if we're looking at June, last week of June is out for me.
Okay,
Jed is in Boston.
okay. Then we get into July 4th, which I know is funky for people, but it's really not for me, so I don't know what people think. Or if we want to do earlier.
I may or may not be away the week of the 7th to 13th.
Okay, what if we did like July 1st or 2nd? Not right next to the 4th, which is on a Thursday this year.
I could do either of those days.
Okay.
At any time.
First, I can't, but second, I can.
It's a Tuesday, everybody.
What's the date?
Tuesday, July 2nd.
Let's see.
I could do literally any time that day.
Me too.
Okay.
wear red, white, and blue?
I actually start
You're
full,
lucky. You're
I
all
start full
set.
time
You're
on the
already in.
1st, so I can't come until after 5.
Oh
Want to do like a
What time can you get here
6
then?
o'clock, 6:30?
What's good for you? You
or
want to come right from there? You want to go home and eat? Like, what do you want to do?
Like the 6:30 works
That
well.
works okay for me.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. on July 2nd, and I'll do the usual. I'll do an agenda and,
Do we want to keep just having the Zoom just in case we do need to throw stuff
Sure.
up, just
Sure.
to have it?
It's easy enough.
yeah, what's his name was easy to get that from, Pat. Okay, so then I think I don't know, maybe we just kind of think about the photos. Like Becky will get together what she has. I'll see if we have anything with those hard copies, and then hopefully we can
Yeah, like I said, I would check with Sue, and I would check with,
She probably gave them to me.
question,
a handoff at one
is there, and have you talked to Sean at all? Has there been?
I could find Sean.
Because didn't he digitize a lot of stuff?
That's a really good idea. I can find him, I think.
I have a
Because he put a lot of stuff online at one point.
Yeah.
And I think he did a lot. And depending on when it was done, I remember a lot of my personal photos. I had the CD to go along with the hard copy.
Right.
I have
been
a
a while.
question. So the bridge with the stone arch by the ball field, is that on here? Because I always call it the Mechanic Street Bridge, but is it something else?
I don't even know what that is. Someone else will have to answer.
You know, the one with the stone?
Yeah, I know what you're
It's
talking,
like
I don't
kind
know.
of between the ball field and Jackman's.
I don't know if that bridge has a name as far as like Macros goes.
Yeah, I know it's really old because I saw the Historical Society had a photo of it and they they had everyone guessing like where it was, and I recognized it instantly because of the angle, and I take that bridge all the time, and I was like, oh, that's it, but it was like, you know, that's the one where you kind of have to stop and let the other person
Yeah, that's,
for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one where
So I
people.
think that one should be in there, and I just don't see it on our list.
Dogs like to jump up and look over at the water.
Oh,
Really, you're like, don't jump.
it's really kind of scary to look over the side of that, because it almost looks like it's leaning a little or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's
Like
disorienting.
it's wider at the top,
Optical
so when you
illusion.
look,
Yeah, right? It's a weird optical illusion,
It's a
yeah.
cool bridge, though.
Yeah, and it's like
And there's a lot of
18-something
fragments of
stone arch.
grindstones.
Yeah.
all in- Oh, yeah.
I think
Okay,
that-
it is the Mechanic Street Bridge.
I think
Built
that would be-
in 1850, so it should be on the list,
But
but
I don't-
apparently
I don't
it's
see it
not.
on the Manchester
Through
Street.
Mechanic Street.
What year was
Okay.
that? I'm just going to add it in.
1850.
1850. Okay.
How did I miss that one? I thought I added them all.
I had another question, and just tell me if it doesn't relate, but there was an announcement today about preservation of the common or something?
Preservation Common.
We're made of nonprofit.
Oh, did they?
I believe I read that right, in like the.
Yeah, I
local
thought I saw
papers.
something like that, but I didn't read the whole
What
post.
organization would have done that?
It's the people who do like the flowers and everything, who
Okay.
decorate
It's
downtown.
kind of their own group.
So they did
It's
it
like
on
the
their own?
Common Preservation, yeah, so it's like their own little organization.
And so
I don't
they
think
made
it's
it-
really town affiliated, I don't think they get money from the town or anything.
Right.
They're their own volunteer group that take care of the
So
Common.
that'll allow them to, like, maybe raise
To
funds.
probably do
Right.
fundraising
And maybe this,
and that
I don't know
stuff.
if there's any
Nonprofit or something.
matching money, not pay taxes, I don't know. That's, I think that's the whole extent of it, but I'm not sure.
So Sarah, it was built in the early 1850s to connect the two factories of the upper works of the Douglas Axe Company, which were located here on opposite sides of the river. Built to connect the two factories, which stood on opposite sides of the river, upon completion, the old pair of bridges which spanned the river at the end of Cummings Court, just upstream, were taken down.
Interesting.
So that one and Cook Street, it sounds like were built around the same time, the pair of bridges?
Cook Street was 1904, I thought I said,
It's a pair of bridges.
but I,
So
I'm
Common
going to take
Street Bridge was
I'm
older
just
than-
curious about I know Mechanic Street is super old, and I'm just trying to think about, for some reason, I keep thinking there was like a more recent date on Cook Street. I'm sure they redid it, because I remember seeing pictures of it when it was just like iron, like metal railings, and it looked wicked looked like you could fall in. Looked like you could fall in off the side, and I don't know when they redid it, but
1908 was the, oh, here's what it looked like.
Yeah, so I've seen pictures like that, and then I've seen other ones that look like they're between that and what's there now. Like now it's like concrete, and before that it was like these just little metal railings that were, I'll try to see if I can find them, because I saw them on like eBay or
To go back
somewhere.
to that.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a good, that must have been when it was new. That's a good picture.
It was done by the New Jersey West Virginia Bridge Company in
They're still
1908.
around.
Kidding, wow.
So do we want to adjourn?
I think so.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right. It is 8:32. This meeting of the Historical Commission has been adjourned.